are great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
we're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
That was, it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Let me do your hair. What's happening? What's happening, good people? How you guys doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? I keep saying, at least two people out here in these social media streets. Got to know who I am and who that is over there. Yes. But it's just in case, I know some of y'all like, actually we don't, but don't worry. We're going to tell you guys who we are. I am LaDosha Wright, aka Key Lolo. And then right over there she is. That's right, my co-host, my BFF, my PNC.
What's up?
And that's partner in cosmetology, that is, because we ain't doing no crimes out here. We ain't doing no times, okay? Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle, and we are officially 174 episodes in, and tonight it is all about the real, and we mean the real cost.
And we do mean
going. I got to put that little air quotations of going natural podcast episode. I'm going to talk, Cheryl, about how we can get us on the, what's that like? What's those other ones like Apple and Spotify? Because now you can see people. In the beginning, you used to could just hear the voice, but now people want to see who you are. So we're going to talk to CJ to see if we can upload some of these on some of the other platforms. We can get a little juicy. But in the meantime, welcome everybody. We are always excited to see our family. I think LB was in the chat saying she has a bologna sandwich. I just can't take no more. All right. So let me give LB a big old round of applause, because it's like, man, I'm the only person that's eating them bologna sandwiches. So let's give it up all my bolognas in the house. It's going down, going. It's all about bologna. Bologna don't get no more. Everybody out bullshit. They don't eat pork no more. I don't eat my bologna. I ain't thinking about y'all anyway. Thank you, LB. And then we have our virtual co-hosts in the chat. And we got some family over on Instagram is in the chat. What's going on? Living my bus life. Okay. How you doing, Graham Vet? I see you over there. It's nice to have Instagrammers in the house. Then, of course, we have LinkedIn. Hey, LinkedIn. How y'all doing? And then the Facebook fam. What up, Facebook? We out here in these social media streets and buildings and corners. And we're having us a good time. It looks so sunny in California. How's it doing in San Diego?
It is very hot.
It's hot in Cleveland too. It's not very hot, but it's warm. And people are like, when the fall gonna come? Y'all best to shut up, because y'all know in 2 weeks it's gonna be snowing in Cleveland. So we better just go on and enjoy these hot days. Just turn the fan on, turn the AC down. I know the light. You see them light bills? Anybody? Does anybody want to talk about them light? Y'all listen, y'all put this fool in office. When I tell you my light bill has increased like $200. Okay, 200. Like this is commercial real estate, which also my house is going up. Y'all know I'm a Scorpio, ain't that right? My boss is in the chat. Y'all better drop them L's. Y'all know what time it is. Boss, I miss you. I have a special clip for you. I'm so glad you're on, and I'll talk about it in a minute. But this one, I want to dedicate this one to my boss. So let me drop them L's in the chat right quick. Y'all know what time it is. Cheryl, she over there doing her thing. But there you go, boss. Stick around, because I have a clip that's specifically just for you, okay? And so So again, tonight, 174 episodes in, and we're talking about the real cost of going natural. Now, some of you guys might be new and saying, hey, what is this platform all about? It's this Afro Hair Science. Okay. What you and Cheryl talking about the dumbest.
And we
do me. See, we didn't even see how we do that, Cheryl. This is how y'all know we best friends. We ain't even playing that. But we do me. Seriously. The dumbest shit that people say about black hair. And I can't think of nothing more dumb than going natural. Now, I know they're like, God, it's just everybody, it's just so abrasive. But the reason why we're going there is because, in case you don't know who we are now, I'm a licensed cosmetologist with about 25 years in, and Cheryl is the heiress to the California Curl Empire. She's the editor-in-chief of the SD Monitor News. She's a cosmetic trichologist. Cheryl, how many years did you? She's also retired, and she's an educator. We're both educators and advocates for our industry. But how many years did you work in the industry?
From 17, because I graduated at 17 and went to beauty school at 17.
17.
Sexy
at 17. Ooh, that little bit of rock and roll dream. Okay.
17 about, I would say 50. I was about 50, 52.
Ooh, okay. She put it. Hey, let me see. I'm doing the math. I'm doing long. Hey, Sandra, I'm doing the math on a piece of paper. I ain't doing that math on. I'm not putting out that cell phone for that. I'm gonna do it the long way. Where you know how you cross the 5 out and bring up the 4. You know how you got to drop the 12. You gotta be old school to do that. 12 minus 7 is 5. 4 minus 1. You're talking 35. That's that old. Let me show. They don't even believe me. I'm doing that old school math. You don't see that no more. Y'all remember that? Cancel it out. Hit that math up. I know the math is like, girl, nobody doing that no more. I am. Remember how your parents used to help you do your homework? You get it all wrong.
You had 5 cats. Okay. Sold 2. How many do you have left?
Woo-wee. And they had that hand ready for you. Listen here. You better.
Once again.
They weren't brought up like that. But anywho, so she's got 35 years in. And so our concern is, tonight's topic is just so befitting because this natural hair movement has cost people more than money. Ooh. So I hope by now you guys, when we say the real cost, we got to go there. Now, there aren't really too many videos that can capture where we're going to go with this, but I just put some in there for poops and giggles. You know what I'm saying? But here's something that was not for poops and giggles. Real Roots podcast last night. Okay. I rocked it out with her. Listen, I was driving home. I was pulling over. Yate, like, be safe when you're driving home. The only way I would miss Yate's podcast, I got to be working or something like that. Okay. But I love her podcast. Okay.
But wait a minute, because I tried to say, okay. So what time is it? Okay. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay. What I'm going to do I'm just going to text you and say, let's get in the chat.
Exactly.
But if you are on this podcast on Mondays, see, you got to go to Yate's on Sunday because she going to prep you up. Y'all see what I'm saying? So Yate going to get y'all ready, especially the female barbers. There is no other. I don't know, Yate. I could be wrong, but I don't think there is another female podcast for barbers. Okay.
I don't.
And now that doesn't mean that everybody can't listen because I'm not a barber, but last night, baby, she kicked the ballistics. I was home 30 minutes late trying to pull over, trying to put my little comments in the chat. She did a wonderful job, so I want to tell it all. Y'all just go on over and subscribe to Real Roots. Me and Wike was in the chat, getting it in. So check her out, guys. There she is right here. Real Roots, Yate, the barber. Stylist. And congratulations to you on all of your endeavors. Now,
That's
I know
right.
y'all like, well, what she do? I ain't telling.
Man.
Y'all got to get on the channel and find out why we are congratulating her. But it is, especially now more than ever, with all this mess that's going on in the United States. I'm trying to, I don't know why the Black history just can't be talked about. I'm reading posts from people who kind of feel like, now these are people of the other persuasion. They're I think what, now I know they don't represent all of, the others, okay, Americans, but I think that I think we need to have like a discussion with each other. It would be nice if some of our community leaders would bring us together and we could have some conversations, because because Don Lemon, to me, he's the only person that's really addressing the frustrations that white people are really having with people who are not white. Mm-hmm. And white people are really having a problem. It's a powder keg. I think they came, first of all, the way they allowed Parr, Richard Parr, to build up the Lost Cause. That's the man who wrote the Lost Cause. Okay. So after the Civil War, right, Cheryl? Then it come to Reconstruction. Those people were really upset about that dang on losing that Civil War. Am I exaggerating here?
No, I don't think the United States I don't think it ever ended. I think it stopped. I don't think it ever ended. It had a very unnatural ending to it.
Now, what do you mean? Now, because we got to have this discussion, y'all. I know we're going to get to our topic, and please drop your comments in the chat about. To me, we really have to begin to have some sit downs, because everybody's got their own version of what had happened was, but it's only one thing that really did happen. In the story, I'm sorry, there's only one story that culminated a few things that happened. Number one, they left Europe. Okay. Those white people left Europe because they were tired of the aristocracy, right? Mm-hmm. And then two, they loved religion. They didn't like the whole religion control thing. So them the two, three, they was hungry, right? Because they was starving over there, man. So they had those three issues, right? And they really wasn't helping their own citizens. We're talking Europeans, right? The Dutch, y'all know, come on now, y'all. Stop acting like we don't know these stories, okay? At least that much. And then they came to the Americas, and they was over here like, what the French toast and bologna sandwiches? They did not know what they were doing. People were already here, the natives, right? Right. And the natives was like, oh, well, y'all looking kind of straight. What the heck y'all got on y'all's heads now? What y'all doing over there? Okay. So the natives said, well, let us help y'all out. What's going on? They don't speak the language. They try to help. And the next thing you know, they was like, oh, man, these folks so stupid. We could take this over. Now, that's the story they don't want to hear. Mm-hmm. And we got to have I don't think we need to get upset, but we got to talk to the white people about that story, right? So then they got over here. They needed some help. They said, y'all got to work this land. Y'all just can't gonna be able to come over here and with them potatoes and them little hats and them little Quaker shoes, them belt buckles and stuff. That's just not going to work, okay? Y'all going to have to work. And once they realized it was so much work, they said, y'all got us messed up. There's too much work. We need some help. And in the backdrop, you got some people selling people. So they said, well, we could buy some of them people. Let's get them people over here. And I'm going to quote my homeboy, Gerald Horn. Please go watch Gerald Horn, okay? Gerald, not Levert. That's my husband, Mike. May he rest in peace, okay? He's not my husband, but let me have it. Don't say nothing. Don't tell his family I'm out here talking about you.
Go with it. Go with it. Go with it.
Okay, so Gerald Horne with the E, Horne. So they went on this maniacal, I'm quoting him, this maniacal like tirade to steal all these Africans because we could physically do the work and the heat. And then they depended on all this free labor. They like, we ain't paying them Negroes. Now, hold on now. This is the true. I'm just wrapping it up in a nutshell because you have people who are driving through a church and killing people and burning the church down. And now they're saying that perhaps he has some what is it called? PST or PDS or what's that called? Post. Y'all help me out.
PST. Mm-hmm.
You said what? People?
PT.
Oh, PT. I'm sorry, guys. PTSD. I didn't want to get it wrong. So they're saying that perhaps a lot of these killings by a lot of the white men, like people are saying stuff like, oh, they're incels, they're fearing of people taking over. And it's like, no, some of this, they feel like it's some mental health. And people say, they gonna say that every time it's a white. We need to have the conversation because the warring that we're having with these countries and stuff is still the history of those kinds of white people trying to steal other people's resources. All right. We just can't deny that, y'all. We just can't. And I think we just need to have that conversation to kind of soothe their neurosis because they feel like, you know what, y'all taking over our stuff and y'all teasing us and y'all making us feel bad. We're not trying to make y'all feel bad. Am I taking this wrong? I mean, you know, they say, you know, they tired of this. Now they said we didn't gave y'all. That's what they said. Y'all need to like Charlie Kirk because he was saying we tired of this. We didn't gave y'all civil rights. Y'all always want something, but we don't want nothing from y'all.
Well, it's not a question of what we want. It's just the question of we need you to understand the magnitude of what you took.
See.
You've been lied to. You were told that you only took, a baggie, a dime bag, when you actually took loads and loads and bales of gallons and gallons and gallons and tons. And I think that as long as we don't talk about Black history, then we don't have to talk about white history. It's always.
Well, they do want to talk about white history because they want to. No. Oh, okay, let me shut up. Let me drink my Kool-Aid. I got a bologna sandwich on my lap.
When you talk about slavery, you want us to start talking about slavery. And they don't want to be the enslaver in the story.
Well, that's what they're saying. Like, why y'all holding us accountable? We did not, 2025 Caucasians did not enslave those.
Neither did Germany in terms of when they paid back the Jews. Those weren't the ones that did it. The key is what it's like this. You say that I'm an heiress. All right, I'm an heiress. I've earned little, but I have inherited much. Well, the problem is that as Black people, you're living with, when we talk about slavery, well, who are we talking to? We're talking to their heirs. So when we are talking about the wrong, you have to inherit the wrong doing.
But they don't feel like that. I'm not trying to pacify. I'm not being a pacifist, y'all.
No. It's irrelevant how you feel. Doesn't matter how you feel. How many times do we go into therapy and you're either in a couple and then you talking about, it doesn't matter how you feel. It matters how the person who's telling the story. Now, let me just say this. Let's just be clear. They want to believe a different story. Let's just be clear on that. They want to believe and to embody and to absorb and to be able to tell their children's children. They want to be able to tell a different story. They don't want to tell their great grandchildren, their grandchildren, and their children, and great. They don't want to tell them the story that what it is that you have was taken by savagery. They don't.
And they're saying, how long, Kilolo? How long, Cheryl? How long is y'all gonna keep telling that story? We said, okay, we did it. Let's let it go.
As long as you tell the story of 1776. As long as you tell the story of your independence from Great Britain. As long as you tell the story of, and you worship George Washington.
Wow.
As long as it's history, it's history. The problem is that after each said act, let's say slavery, we can pick that. You did not let it go. You created and you federalized systems and codes and social norms and class systems that locked whatever that act you said you stopped. You locked in some of the systems and the beliefs, because of course, at the end of the day, when they talk about Charlie Kirk, he went to what? Somebody got him from community college, groomed him again and again and again, and gave him money to start his whatever his stuff was. Mm-hmm. That is what you call inheritance. So who is he going to be like? So where did he get these thoughts?
Right, and that's to me that, and so to me, I just think
that's inheritance.
Right? Yeah, I get it. I just think that they want
you to start over every 25 years. They want you to start over every generation. They want you to start from nothing. So let's scratch it. How long are you going to continue to tell the story? They want you to start from scratch. Now, you enslaved Europe 4 times. You educated them in Greece, which is in Alexandria, which is on the continent, the actual crust landmass. You did it Rome, okay, Spain, and then you tried to walk them through the Americas until the papacy said chattel slavery was okay based on race.
I know.
You tried to do it 4 times. You tried to civilize them 4 times.
I just think that we need to have those town hall discussions, and somebody got to moderate.
Discuss what? What would we be discussing?
Because they need to hear that. I mean,
they don't need to hear. They need to be able to go to the therapist.
Well, as we can see, the therapist. I ain't gonna stick on it for so long because we got to get to our topic. Right. But the therapist clearly ain't working, y'all. That's why I'm a hairstylist. What you say? Sure, I'm serious. The therapy in America, it needs some revamping. If they are saying that a lot of these killings by white men, because it's white on white crime. Can we say that? Is it okay to say that, or is that
no
bad? No. Okay. So the therapy is
savagery. That's what it is. Turned on itself. That's what it's called.
It is. And so it's not working, and they just need to kind of work that over. And so, but I mean, I don't know how many people say we need to talk about it. Sure, say ain't nothing to talk about. What's up, me? How you doing, boo? What's up, Carolyn? 746-3992 Mo Bear. How you doing? What's up, everybody? Again, we are. You know what? Look at R. Clark.
What R. Clark said?
Okay, our clock. And I see you, Genesis, with your fine ass. You the crept in on it. I'm gonna put you up here. Don't worry. What's up, Weekay? She said capital E. You got it. You got it. Give me an N. You got it. You got it. Give me a T. You got it. You got it. And y'all know where we're going. Entitlement will never allow them to see things the way they are. Okay. I'm just it's getting worse than this. What's wrong with y'all? They need God, period. Their savior is the devil. Y'all is not. Whew. Well, this is America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. And I'm telling y'all.
And let me just say this. For
some
reason, I do not know why we think that they acted any different when they were in Europe.
They didn't. They was killing each other. I mean, I know that's what I'm saying. That's why they need to see. To me, that's why they need to have the conversation because the education.
Talk about nothing they need to do because it ain't none of our business.
Our clock, go home. Our clock. She's like y'all sing sinners. I'm trying to have a segue, y'all. Y'all just want. Maybe I shouldn't have. Well, I came out of social work, And obviously, if I did if I have a podcast, you already know I'm a chatty Cathy, right? And I just know what conversations can do. But I hear y'all talking, so clearly I've lost this request. But I still think in my heart, if there was just some way, maybe in your own intimate settings with our white people. I feel like the white people that I knew, some of my white friends, they don't want to talk to me no more. And I feel
they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed.
No, they're angry when I read their posts. They're just like, I mean, I'm just like, I respect y'all. Y'all like Charlie Kirk. It's all good. We like Nat Turner. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, we got our stuff too. So anywho, I try. But tonight, let me show y'all another way. I'm just, y'all know me. I'm just trying to do the kumbaya thing. But anywho, we got some kumbaya. You remember that kumbaya, my lord? Come on, y'all. Kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. I know about kumbaya, okay? Speaking of kumbaya, don't forget it's going down. We're gonna be live on Wednesday, okay? No, Thursday. I'm sorry. Thursday, next Thursday, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. I'm flying to San Diego, California, to be a part of the official Willie Morrow Way street naming ceremony. And we asked every one of you could just screenshot this and share it on your social media. We would really appreciate that because we want the world to know that Dr. Willie Morrow has contributed so much. And now there's going to be a street naming ceremony just for him. And I'll be going live next Thursday. So y'all, I'm going to stay live the whole time until they kick me off. All right. So I'll be there. I'm coming on back to work. Okay. Also, we are concluding this topic tonight. Concludes our episode about look, that ain't the one. I'm sorry, y'all. That was supposed to be the other one. I'm sorry. It concludes our episode about this whole natural hair education confusion thing with the public and so on and so forth. So tonight, this is again, we're 174 episodes in. The real cost of going natural is what we're going to be talking about. But also a little FYI, in case you guys did not know, that Solange has launched a free digital archive library of rare Black and brown literature. Okay, so I'm going to drop that link in the chat. She is making news all over. I mean, Google did a nice spread on her. She's all on Instagram. So make sure you go and you check out, follow Solange. She's on all the social media platforms, but she's rocking it right here on Instagram. And that's Beyonce's sister, her little Twitter. Solange is. So she's taking her career into another level. And so again, Solange has launched a free digital library of rare Black and brown literature. She has that's pretty dope right there. Okay. And then last but not least, we're going to get ready to get into the topic. I forgot to download the thing. Man, I'm telling you, I always be a little bit behind schedule. Oh, did it come up? I don't know. Sometimes I try to do stuff. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Here it comes. So you guys know we had the young ladies on, Erin Maben, right? And Natasha Gaspard of the Natural Hairstyle and Beauty Coalition. And we said we are going to launch, we're going to make October and November. All right. This is going to be me and Cheryl's thing called Tap Black Give Back. And so I'm going to Africa. They need some support. We need some support. And this is going to be an ongoing thing with between Cheryl and I, where we want to use our barber and beauty and nail and, you know, all of the people that work at natural hair salons, whatever, spas, whatever, to post a sign to encourage customers to give back to the nonprofits and initiatives such as mine, going to the Gambia, that's for our industry, okay, the education in our industry. So I'm gonna leave this up after the live, so you can take your own phone and you can donate to the NHBC. Then next week we're going to start off with the Gambia, okay? So the Gay and Girl Skills Academy. So they say any amount would help them, and we promised them that we would help do some donations. So I'm going to record myself and I'm going to give to the NHBC because people, you know, organizations and initiatives in our industry needs funding. Cheryl has some stuff going on as well. So Cheryl, you want to speak to this right quick? Why it's imperative that we give back within our industry. We have a history behind it. Yeah. And after Cheryl breaks that down, we're going to hop into this topic about the real cost of going natural. Go ahead, Cheryl, break that down.
But not only our passion where our mouth is, and all our hard work and advocacy, what it does is when we do put the energy of finance, we kind of propel it in a very spiritual way to say that this is what we value, this is what we're serious about, and this is what the message is. We're all on the same team, and it just gives a great momentum, a good spiritual, financial empowerment energy on the things that, you know, are valuable to you know, to us as a collective, especially this industry. This industry has given us so much. Sometimes we have to pour into it. So hey, Tap Black, give back, y'all.
All right, y'all heard that. It's real simple. Now, Cheryl, now I really didn't know all of this, but I just want to share this with you guys to Cheryl's point as we make this segue into our topic. Cheryl shared with me when I first met her that we have this history in our industry of giving to help propel, you know, other educational institutions to new heights, right? And so the one she pointed out to me was this Madam C.J. Walker, correct? Donating to Mary McLeod Bethune. And so this money from the beauty industry, and you guys, as we say, don't cook it up, look it up. You can guys learn a little bit more about this yourself. And so Cheryl, can you share that right quick? Because this is setting the tone for why it's important that we now pour some of those donations back into initiatives that we can save our own education. Because as you can see, it's really, it's in a lot of trouble. But just a little bit about Madam C.J. Walkers and others who have donated. You talked about the Negro League and things of that nature.
Because of how the beauty industry it started out very profitable. And we excelled. We had a very quick rise and what they call it, a financial economic ascent through the beauty industry and barbering industry. And so we were the financiers of many things that happened in what we call Black America. The Civil Rights Union, the Poiterman's boycott, all of those things were basically, and of course others, but now that she has the Bethune-Cookman College was also well financed by Annie Malone and the Walker Company.
Okay.
And of course that dovetails into the vision out of Maud Gatson out of New York, which I strongly suggest the Natural Hair and Braiding Coalition go get that particular history, because they are the ones that really started the advocacy in New York. I think it was Maud Gatson, along with a couple of other young ladies in upstate New York. However, but once we pay attention to how they came together and they poured their resources in, and I think that here we go again. Speaking of how Europeans and how they value their ancestry,
Okay,
how they value their inheritance. We must step in and do the same thing.
right. And so
Yeah.
And so we just want to let you guys know that the request to donate is not really frivolous. This is a legitimate, the Natural Hairstyle and Braiding Coalition. They are really trying to do, they're not trying, they're doing the work. And it costs money to do this type of stuff. And people volunteer their time. I know I'm volunteering my time to go over to the Gambia. And so again, at the end of the day, you going to post these up, and you guys, the QR codes will change, but for all of this week, I'm going to post on all of the social media. But again, if you want, I think I can actually, I'll be able to put a QR code actually within this frame, okay, whatever y'all call this thing, okay, so we'll have one. But for now, screenshot this, I will hold it up, and we appreciate you guys donations in advance. And so all of the proceeds does not go to Aaron and Natasha. It goes directly to the Natural Hairstyle and Beauty and Braid Coalition. That is a legitimate nonprofit organization. And then, of course, when you donate to the Gay and Joel Skills Academy, you'll donate it to me because their nonprofit is in the Gambia, but I will give her all of the money like I've always done. So we did it before, and we raised $750. So we can get pretty close to that again. I'll be leaving in 2 weeks. We appreciate you guys' support in advance because education is really, really important. And with that being said, I'm going to use this video here to set this conversation up. Now, I know y'all like, LaDosha, you really a nerd if you watching the United Nations speeches by the various leaders of the country.
They were good.
I'm telling y'all, if y'all, it's okay. What I'm gonna do my top 5 picks of the United Nations speeches.
Which one? I already have a favorite.
Well, I so many. Well, right now, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put it out. Okay. So I like the young lady who won the Nobel Peace Prize from the Philippines. I think her last name is Mesa. Hers was really, really, really good. Homegirl from Barbados, fire. Okay. Number 3 I showed last week was from Kenya. Woo! It's a tie. It's a tie right now between Burkina Faso and Grenada.
Oh,
please, yeah. If y'all listen, I'm saving Burkina Faso for Thursday. Okay, I listened to the Burkina Faso one 3 times. I listened to this one 3 times. So I'm going to play a snippet, and it's going to set the tone about the real cost of going natural. And I dedicate this one to my boss, Lavina, because she is from the islands, and he talks about that cohort because in the islands, they have so much devastation with hurricanes and things of that nature. So education is always compromised when you have, events like that, catastrophic events in nature. Okay. So 43 seconds. And I'm telling y'all, please, them my 5. Sure, you're going to give your 5, and I'm going to give my 5. We're going to post it on our social media. Right now,
I like the same one as yours, but
okay.
Of course, Mia.
But she likes Barbados first. Burkina Faso. Okay. Anywho, this is the Prime Minister of Grenada setting the tone for the real cost of going natural. 174th episode right here on Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. Here it goes.
The only force that can turn innovation into inclusion and conflict into cooperation. That force is education. That is a simple yet profound truth. Education is the single greatest social, economic, and creative equalizer that we possess. Because in a small island, every child's potential is a national asset.
Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe.
Man,
Child's listen, that made me cry. And I'm just gonna, he from the hood of Grenada, and I'm from the hood. And I'm telling you right now, I can't find the words to tell y'all how education has changed my entire life. I mean, when I said we was brought up we was so poor we couldn't afford motherfucking OR. Okay, we was poor. My cousins had their toes up my nose. Poor. I'm talking about me. I ain't talking about nobody else. I'm talking about I had a spider on my window, and I was trying to spray it and step on it. And my aunt said, "That's not how you kill a spider. It's on the web. You're gonna have to take down the web and then take the spider." I said, "Well, only thing I know how to kill is roaches." That's how poor I was. Okay, roaches and mice. And so I would not. I'm telling you that brother's his speech was absolutely, it just mic drop situation. And I dedicate that to my boss, who was who remains starts on education. And this is why you guys donations and why we have this podcast and this topic tonight about the real cost of going natural, which sure I'm going to have you get it going. And if you guys have paid a cost to go natural, please drop it in the chat. Okay. Please drop it in the chat. Yes, our clock baby. She's saying education, knowledge is power. He's taking it one step further. He's saying applied knowledge is power. It's not enough to just know some shit. That's why we talk about this dumb shit that people say about black hair. You got to apply the knowledge, but we know the cost is coming in how people are getting their knowledge. And so with that being said, Cheryl, we got Tado in the chat. Oh, Shucky, we got Trish Natural. Oh, it's about to get lit tonight. Okay. What's up, Cassie? How you doing? What's
up, y'all?
Let me put Genesis up. When I put Genesis up, our algorithm's gonna go. Sorry, Genesis, I gotta use that cuteness, girl. Where you at? Hold on, sure, before you answer that question, because I gotta put it. There she go. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, we gonna show Genesis' face so we can get some more. Cuteness brings in the algorithm. Cuteness brings in the click, so make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button, because one day when I grow up, I'm gonna be as fine as Genesis. Okay. All right, so Cheryl, we're going to use Genesis Beauty to get us some clicks and to get to these algorithms. But I need you to help set the tone. We got a couple of videos. They're not all too good, but anywho, the real cost of going natural. And if you pay the price, drop it in the chat. So let's get it going.
And to melt everything together. And when you said, because it was key about the word applicable, and I think we talk about that all the time. That means that when I've obtained something that I didn't know prior, I need to have a system in which I can apply it, which will give me an orientation to be able to change my position. And so the reason why I say orientation, the education gives me an orientation, which means I'm allowed to steer and to move my plight, my situation, my circumstances, my stuckness, my confusion, frustration. I can move myself from one place to the next. And as we find, we were talking several hours ago, to find ourselves as an omega people, an alpha people, of course, but an omega people, which means that, we will be seeing most of our ancestors and as black people on this earth as a very young people. We are going to be here a lot more years longer. And so, and as we evolve, the question is, are we devolving because of lack of education, or self-awareness? Or do we, when we find out something, once we obtain something, do we have the system into making it systematic? Is it useful? Because he said applied knowledge. Once I know, can I do? And as the great master mentor, Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you should do better.
Mm-hmm.
We are here in the most profitable industry that we've given ourselves. We built this industry for ourselves. Are we back in 1960? Are we going backwards? Why are we talking about
Going natural?
To the point where, well, even the implements of naturalness, you know, and as I know that my family still manufactures Afro combs, and even I had to go back and remanufacture them. So I'm redoing something that I thought was solved.
And what did you think was solved?
I was shocked that you were talking to me about Black people don't comb their hair.
That's the first cost of going natural. Now listen here. If you're gonna be in your emotions tonight, get on off the chat, because we got to keep it 100. This is not we're because in 2026 it's time to move over to solutions. You know how they say, if you ain't part of the problem, you know, if you ain't part of the solution, I'm sorry, then you are a part of the problem. Okay. So we just spent a whole year dedicated to 25 years asking the question, what has natural hair movement taught us? And the first and foremost thing that we see is that it's costing. But it's not just costing in money, because now we see it's on a downtick. It was on an uptick, and but that's a trend. I think everything. Hell, Starbucks is now starting to close. It was just a matter of time. Okay, and nothing lasts forever. So that goes without saying. But it's some residual stuff left over, just like a business. Like when Starbucks goes out, what's going to happen to all of those buildings, you know? So in that natural hair movement, the biggest cost right now is that cost of not combing hair. We have a 25-year that's how many generations is that? That's several generations of parent to child who have zero concepts. Now, we're not saying everybody, but a large amount of Black women and men have been taught and trained, and they believe that we should not be combing our hair. Now, Cheryl, and you, that's why I asked you guys to drop in the chat, what has it cost you to go natural? And not combing hair has got to be one of the biggest costs. And if we could just thank you, WK, we appreciate you. We appreciate your donation in advance. And again, to my boss, Lavina, I did dedicate that one to you. Education in our industry, and do it with integrity. That's what we're talking about. Yes, let me give my boss a round of applause, because Cheryl, I want you to take this this situation here to the next level as we talk about this not combing hair. I'm going to show a video of what this parent had to do, but here you go, boss. Thank you so much. And my boss, and he talks about this. I hate to give up, you know, his whole speech, but he talked about having access. And, you know, when I grew up, I did not have the access because of where I lived. And my aunt, may she rest in peace, my aunt Kiwanis, if it wasn't for her giving me access through her address and her connections, I don't know where I would have been as a 15-year-old mom I got pregnant at 14. I mean, I remember when I told Chrissy I was pregnant, and she said, we were just playing with baby dolls. I mean, that's how real that I mean, I'm not even joking, y'all. And so here I had a whole human life, and education saved my life. So my boss, she has been with me every step of the way. I still don't know. It's not about knowing everything. It's just about, ongoing. And so when we talk about the cost and you have this situation where people are not combing hair, here's a video. And Cheryl, I want you to talk about this whole combing situation and why, to me, this is the biggest cost. So here's a video of what a parent did in response to a cost of going natural.
I paid over $150 for a silk press and ended up leaving with 2 Gracie Corner balls in my daughter's hair because that's what she told the hairstylist she wanted after the fight we had trying to get her to calm down and get her hair finished. Which is why today this Just For Me texturizer is just what we need. I have been going back and forth for a long time about whether I should texturize or relax her hair. And even though I would love for my kids to remain natural like me, I just cannot continue to torture my daughter anymore. Being in the kitchen with these gloves on was a full circle moment because I remember the days my mama used to perm my hair, and baby, I loved me a freshly relaxed head with a body rag. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But honestly, once I started applying a texturizer to her hair, all of the apprehension went away. It was such an easy process aside from the crying that she did. Once I got it in, I let it sit for a little while until she started complaining about it, and I went in with the neutralizing shampoo to wash it all out. Today I decided to go with an Afro system because her hair needed a little extra care and I wanted to make sure I replenished it to help with dryness and break it. It came out exactly how I expected and her curls were still intact, just a bit looser, especially at the roots. And not her feeling herself, and I'm not even done yet. The blow drying process was a bit easier because her hair wasn't tangled at the roots and it was way more manageable, which was the whole objective. This girl literally has so much hair. But by this time it was really late, so it was been 2 nights to bed and neither of us have any regrets.
The cost. The stylist could not help the mom. Now, we're not saying the relaxer was the last resort. I thought that was a smart thing to do. If it was just too much, the relaxer will help do that for you. But the combing part, I mean, you saw the struggle. So this cost of combing, now that you realize that this is this is one of the biggest, consequences and cost of going natural, is this really big movement on not combing hair. I don't even know how we got to that. But maybe I'm sure you've kind of, and if you guys please drop your comments in the chat if you agree, do you disagree, or do you comb your hair, so what's your take now that you see that this, because that's, I mean, when we say dumb shit, again, it's not to be insulting, but when you remove people from their adornment and their maintenance process, that's a danger zone.
It is. I will be honest. I will be try to be extremely honest. And talking to as many people as I have and you have in the last 25 years, and how we end up right now in this moment. And with that video, the mother was not satisfied with the Bantu knots that the stylist had done. And
well, she spent $150 and the stylist could not get to what they had originally wanted, was for the hair to be pressed out because the daughter couldn't sit.
Right. But the daughter requested the knots because she knew she was not going to sit through that. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then, but the mother also knew she was throwing it on the stylist.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me just say, when you can't do something, you that's what we're here for. She should have been able to go to the hair salon to say, listen, I can't do, is there some way you can help me?
She said when she came back. Now you have to remember, the hair was not combed out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it was kind of a setup in a way, to the point where she could not do anything with it. She says she got tired of taking her daughter through it. Okay. Because you have to remember, as a professional, hair just does not tangle if you're managing it.
Right, but she doesn't know how. I'm playing because we see this in the salon.
Let's follow.
Mhm.
Okay. So, and let me just say this, because if we're going to have a what if and a what because, right? Then we'll assume that black hair, curly hair, coiled hair, Afro textured hair just gets difficult.
Mhm.
It doesn't get difficult. It's neglected.
Mhm.
Then it gets difficult.
Mhm.
And not to say that her solution, because of course, no
Yeah.
matter what, if she neglects it, if she gets she just put a relaxer in it for a couple of minutes. If she wants to call it a texturizer, fine, no problem. But my point is, it is the underbelly. It's not the fact that Afro textured hair in and of itself is difficult. We want it to behave in ways it doesn't.
Right.
And when it doesn't do that, we neglect it, and then it turns into the other difficulty. Now we need this, and then we just make it up as we go. 25 years, well, go ahead.
Right. So I'm going to say, in the mother's defense, because we see this now, we don't have the context, so we're going to use the video to create a real live scenario where parents do not know how to manage the child's hair as it begins to change and grow out. I think in the beginning, as a toddler, it's kind of cute to do the hair and the little bobos, when they're 2 and 3. But it's like my mom. One day, I woke up, my mom, and she said the shit was just everywhere. And I have memories of my mother calling around asking, "Can you help me with Ladosha's hair?" And that would be maybe about 73, 74, 75. Okay. And they were like, "I don't know what to tell you." Now they didn't know. My mom could not afford to take me to a hairstylist, a hair salon, to get the solution to how to comb my hair. And to me, that's where the no combing, the natural hair movement kind of took that pivotal point in people's lives, whether it was 5 years old, 10, 15, whenever it happened, and they just ran with the just don't comb it. Whereas my mom did not settle for the not combing because she knew it had to be combed. So how are we helping parents who just don't know that hair was going to require that? Because they
Well,
don't
well,
have some
well,
people don't have a parent to help them, whatever. So go ahead.
okay. We do have aunts. We do have sisters. We do have best friends. We do have payment plans. We do have ways to get around that. We do have churches. We do have,
Come on.
there's ways to get around that. And I think that we're so worried about being blamed. And see, there's a psychological trick we turn. Because
But that's one of the costs, Cheryl. They do blame them, though. You know that, right?
Okay. And what?
I'm just saying, keep it going.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if we blame somebody, then there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who feels all of that? The child.
Yes.
And so we don't necessarily have to go into blame, but we have to find out, like the president of Burkina Faso says, I don't want to talk about the trajectory if I don't talk about the launch pad, how I got on there to get in the position to be ejected. I have to talk about the whole thing so I can prevent it. That is what makes something education, because education is preventative. It is examination. It is correlation. It is scientific. It allows you to put things together. It's abstract, and it's reduction. It's critical analysis. It's all of that. But for some reason, when it gets to Black cultural stuff, right? We don't want to do that. We get, it's too emotionally triggering.
I agree.
Well, well, forget it, because what are they gonna do? And everybody just needs to calm down and be Black for a minute and just try to take how we got there. Okay? Because at the other aspect of this thing, guess who are the most prideful, beautiful, prideful people on the planet that want to look good? The same people that got goddamn problems and how to get there. So that's not normal. That's not logical. That we are so connected to the glorification of the result, but we don't want to do anything in getting there. So that there is a socio-emotional wound. And I'm just saying, let's understand it so we can stop doing it.
Right.
Right? So at the end of the day, we all know you have a granddaughter who may have a special texture. And probably most likely is going to be a lot of it. Right? And at the end of the day, what are we talking about now? We're already trying to talk about what we're going to do, what's going to happen, or when it's going to happen, blase, blase, blase. And so my point is to help her be comfortable with the beauty processing of what it's going to take to make sure that whatever she wants to do, that she has access to the social systems and the education systems and all of the techniques that she needs.
Can't nobody bring it home like Miss Morrow, okay? Can't nobody bring it home, because that's what the going natural, that's some of the costs is that we have to, and like Cheryl said, it might be one of them things where you say it's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. But we have to tell the parents, we have to tell the people, you gotta be involved with that hair. And your question, you say a large amount of people do not comb their hair. And this is from Tristan Natural. So if people are not combing their hair, what are they doing as far as grooming and coming out in a society presentable? They're putting those quote unquote protective styles, and they're trying to escape it and still don't know how to comb it, because what we're starting to see is that the cost of that not combing, because now they can't understand why these braid styles, these twist styles, these lock styles, the price of those hairstyles are going to have to go up, because remember, these are people's careers. So it's associated with their lifestyle. So a braider who might have a rent of $700, her braid price could very well be what? $150. But if you have a braider that lives in San Diego, California, off El Cajun, look at Cheryl face. I just like to make Cheryl mad. It's El Cajon, but I don't speak Spanish, so I thought it was El Cajun. Don't judge me. Go ahead, you can judge me. Off El Cajon, that braid style is probably going to be, in excess of like, $450. And so people are like, well, what is that? So when you say, what are they doing it? They're paying other people to do it. But at some point, you will have to do your own hair. The money, I'm not going to say the money's going to run out, because some people, like Cheryl says, have the access. But even if you do, it's like, your dentist cleans your teeth, but you just can't go to the dentist and say, can you brush my teeth? He's like, and that's what we see what's happening when you hear this. Go ahead, Cheryl.
No, it makes sense.
And I think that's what we see that's happening in the hair salon, because they're trying to negotiate this. Like, well, is there some way that we could make it cheaper? No, we
And they're
can't.
not really saying cheaper. Let me tell you, I don't even really believe it's a money thing. I believe that it is prideful as the natural hair movement meant itself to grow into in its infancy. It was always anti-chemical and natural in all of the artistic, scientific, practical, mechanical methods had not been passed down, or they did not obtain it. They did not ascertain the real meaning of it. They were
Okay.
so busy trying to make a villain and an other, and to somehow solidify that movement that was actually natural products first. They were trying to solidify their newfound pride in blackness before they had the the intelligentsia. They did not have the intel, the historical perspective, nor the technical prowess to go with it, or the scientific knowledge. They assumed that everything that was in back of them was this whole chemical, toxic waste dump world. And then as they moved the Y2K movement forward, that's when they had to interact with product. They had to interact with styling techniques, and they made it up.
Right. So Tondo, Mr. Kafele, welcome. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Okay.
Absolutely.
He's saying, well, talk to me. We talking about people who don't comb their hair. He has locks. And again, 174 episodes, and we're talking about the cost of going natural. And so one of the costs is not combing, not grooming, being led to believe that somehow, if you do something like some of the images that we see here on the screen, we have locks, we have twists, we have braids, all of this stuff, people were led to believe that somehow less was best. So it doesn't matter if you have locks, if you have free form, braids, grooming. You could replace the word comb, with grooming, touching, separating, management. That could be replaced with any other adjective, but there is no such thing as hands-off hair. And so that's one of the biggest costs, is that, people were literally looking for something that they were going to have to do less to. And people ran to locks under the guise that this was going to somehow be easier, quicker, and cheaper. But I think a loctician or a natural hairstylist would probably beg to differ, because I don't think you can go anywhere in America and get a retwist, probably for under $45. What do you think?
Well, let's be clear. Once again, cultural hairstyling is not history. It has nothing to do with archaeology. It has nothing to do with any type of study of. It's not biology. It's not science. It's only an artistic expression. Style, law, any of that is, and of course, there's different cultural expressions.
Yes, ma'am.
Different hairstyles. So I don't like to conflate when people say I don't comb my hair. See, that's biologically non-African. That's not even, because of course the comb in Africa is obviously, that story has been distorted, and we can get into what a comb really is.
And we're gonna do that in 2026. That's why y'all gotta stick around, because we gonna swing this so hard in 2026. Y'all gonna be like,
Right.
what? This is something new coming up the pike. Go ahead, Cheryl.
No, the comb was never taught correctly. But to say you don't comb is to say you don't organize. And energy on an African descending level, it is about energy distribution. It's about balance and alignment. But without saying that, but to say you don't comb it, there must be some philosophy as to why you don't, or you do, or blase. And that is where we start getting into the classical kind of arguments. And that's why we call it the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
That we say, because at that point, if you just made it up and it belongs into some nouveau thing you guys are doing, or some, contemporary shit that you guys, have thought of, that's fine. But you don't have to have a premise for something like that if that's what you want to do, and if that's your newfound philosophy. But to say that it belongs entombed in history, and that to make you feel bitter about doing something one way or another because you want it to belong to a continent, at that point, see, once again, that's a new.
Go ahead, finish it. At that point, it's what?
Bullshit.
It's a lie, y'all. You're not gonna find this. I am not. I will say, and I know what y'all gonna say. You ain't no historian. I am not. I am not. But I am a learned woman, and I am a continued learned woman. And I'm telling you right now, you're not going to find the narrative, not on that continent, that them, I don't care what you want to call them, Black, Africans, Nubians, Cushites, Egyptians.
Well, you have to study it without prejudice.
You do.
You have to study it without having and wanting to lean to one side or another. You have to not have any skin in the truth. You can't have any skin in it. You can't be trying to, especially myself included, we are orphans when it comes to African history or the global South history. We're orphans, always trying to grab onto something because we want to have a sense of belonging. And I get it. But we have, if we want to find truth, and if we want it to feel good and have resonance and coherence and feel good in our body, we are accepting everybody's truth, but we also are going to apply our own truth to our own lives, because once again, we have to get in this thing and know our own value and your value, so we can understand that these children, these babies, we got to get these goddamn stories right, y'all. We got to get the stories right.
And now you see, if you Google, I put in the Google search, natural hair movement failed. I think 15 years ago, you would have never seen any of this. You would have not seen any of this. And what we are seeing in the world of hair, and in those mental health spaces, we are seeing, the backlash before this even happened, of course, because like I said, that is how I got into hair. As an outreach worker, I was seeing a lot of, contributions to some mental, let's just call them issues, okay? Or social ills, you know what I'm saying? It was too many because of this whole hair thing. And people were believing that somehow if you braided these, like we went to volunteer to braid some hair in a housing project, right? And to volunteer to braid the children's hair for school. Now, this community has pretty much been burned away, which, by the way, tonight they're supposed to be having a town hall because they haven't even told the people how this fire happened, all right? So these people are living in this housing project in Cleveland. It's called Rainbow Terrace, right? And they don't have all the access to the stuff. Now the stores donated. We were live, like helping them out. And when we went to braid these children's hair, not one child, not one parent, let me take the child out of it. Not one parent wanted their child's own hair braided. We could have braided triple the amount of heads of hair and really helped those parents out. Taught them how to comb it, do what Cheryl is talking about. Tell them what needs to be done to manage it. And if they had locks, what they needed to do to manage, or as she says, organize it. Even if it was free form, you still have to organize it. We couldn't do it because of this stuff you see on the screen. That's our entire generation of people living. Now, let's say everybody, I'm talking about the people who attended that, was definitely under the guise that these styles was somehow going to give them some time away from. Ain't no time away from, because the hair has to be managed. And when we're saying stuff like Cheryl said, well, in Africa, no, it's no history in Africa is supporting that we didn't do our hair. It's just, I don't care how we did it. We didn't do that, y'all. That's just.
And let me just be real clear. Combing. Okay. Sometimes these conversations get real ridiculous to me sometimes, but combing was not for tangles. See, tangling is neglect. Tangling is neglect. And so the African, in terms of design and how that is connected to your hair, combing is just about your scalp than it is hair. It's healthy to make sure you have each follicle combed through, because only one follicle, one hair. To have it matted together and to think that you can say whatever it is that you want to say and do it, as LaDosha just said, in terms of your expression. But the concept, the Afrocentric concept of adornment, hygiene, and grooming is for health and beauty to be one and the same.
Mm-hmm. And can I just add in, let me just interject, because a lot of people, and I would hear this a lot, like, where did it in Africa, like where they get it from and all this? They got it from Mother Nature, guys. They watched animals and plants in nature to inspire what we call humanity. In other words, birds to do it.
Yeah, but there's another word for it. There's another word for it.
Go ahead.
There's another word for it. When we say organized, we can say arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
But like LaDosha just pointed out, nature says order.
Yes.
The order.
They did, guys.
Cosmic sciences says the order. Things must be ordered. And things come first, things unfold, things bloom, things go back, things die, and things are reborn. It has an order. And that is basically the philosophy underneath the mother foundational infrastructure knowledge is order oneself.
Got to drop the bomb on y'all. I'm trying to get y'all to understand, we're not knocking any business structure, ideal, creativity of how you want to express it, like she said, in this new modern, whatever you want to call it, era. That ain't the point. But if you're trying to take this not combing thing and say stuff like, well, in Africa, no, don't do that. Don't do, and don't believe that. Don't.
And there is a way to go. There's a way to hold it.
Mm.
In fact, the comb in and of itself has an anatomy.
What you talking about, Willis?
It embodied the spirit. It was art. The comb in and of itself. The implement was not just something you buy for 99 cents, pink with the wide tooth comb in the Korean shop next to the keychains. No, it was artistic design. It was a talisman. And so we'll get into all of that later. But my point is that, you know, while we are trying to reach back Y2 natural and be natural, we have to be of natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
right
in result. It's all of the ancestral foundational pieces that make it was because it is, and what makes it is because it was, and all of the backstory.
Right, because the drawback to dis and misinformation, again, is another cost. All right. So we automatically see the first cost of going, this is the biggest cost, is the uncombed or not organizing. And then just so, now we're not saying all, but there are a lot of people who are associating that philosophy with its roots are in Africa. There's no evidence of that, and you're never going to find it. So that's the cost. But once that happens, because now remember, you have that movement that people are saying has failed. Yeah. The next cost is now you have this language, this lexicon that we're now starting to taunt and tease and pick on each other. So this one, we're going to talk about the second cost. Now there's so many. We can't keep y'all here all night, right? So here's the second cost of going natural. And I'm just going to call this one, Cheryl, black on black hair hate crime. Okay, here we go.
I am so over the texturism conversation because who are we arguing with other than ourselves and each other? As a black woman from Alabama at that, I have gone to a lot of predominantly white schools. I can honestly say I have never had a white person make me feel bad for having my texture hair. Mind you, my hair texture is 3C4A. I first experienced texturism in my own household because my mother, who is a Creole, has a very, very fine hair. Her hair has to be at least 2B2C. And she used to tease me and tell me that I wish I had her hair when I honestly didn't. But when I get on social media, all I see is black women with 4C hair complaining because their hair texture is unbearable. Not only that, a lot of y'all are bullying other naturalistas with like the 3 textures for loving their hair. Like I'm literally seeing like people with like natural hair appreciation posts, and it's people in the comments nitpicking, oh, it's not 4C, it's not 4B, it's always the 3B, 3C. It's starting to give jealousy. Like it gets to a point where
so now we got some, I know anybody can relate to that. The black on black hair hate crime. This is the real cost, where people are just, they're not, well, they always have been, but you know, not just on social media, but like she said, in her own household. And we've had people in the chat, you know, share and disclose that they have had some, you know, verbal, you know, spats or just some not so nice words said to them. And so this is the cost of quote unquote going, because we already did it. And we are not advocates of picking on anybody, but we know that when the hair is unkempt, that's just what's gonna happen. Now we know we shouldn't do it, but if you smell like pee, you're gonna get called the pee girl. Okay, I'm just saying. I did it. I admit it. Okay, I then in Genesis, I did tease the PP boy, but he did smell like pee. Not good. But this is the nature of the beast. Children will A is for apple, J is for Jack. You ain't got no hair in the back. Hey, hey, what's the matter with your afro? Y'all heard me say that a lot of time on this podcast. We do this to ourselves. And as a consequence, people don't have to like it. I know what you guys are saying. You know, sticks and stones may break my bones and oars never heard that. That's true.
Okay, so come on now. So tell me what that little girl that got her texturizer. So if she happens to have Sandra.
Okay, I'm gonna get there. Maybe I gotta take it down. No, put it back up. I'm sorry, guys. But that's what happens in our community, even right here on the Afro Hair Science YouTube.
So when y'all find out that white people didn't call black people's hair nappy, why did y'all all of a sudden fall out? Black people have been the cruelest. Brillo.
She said her share. So this happens. They're not even talking. And the sad part is that we're laughing, but this isn't our culture. American culture.
We, you know damn well your people, they don't like them locks. They call them things. Look, them braid, them tacky ass braid. They don't like this, that, and the other. We have given ourselves a hard time. That's the cost.
That's the cost. That is the cost of going natural. If you don't take care of it, if people, everybody got something to say. You know what I say? Opinions are like cell phones. Everybody got one. And if it's you know, not only they'll talk about it if it don't look the way they want it to look, but heaven forbid. You know, and I'm not saying that Sandra is implying that her hair was not combed, but it's just that roasting, yes. Roasting, I'm sorry. I got glasses on. I still can't see because my eyes is water from Sandra's comment. But that's part. It's the dozens. It comes with the territory, and you got to be able to stand up for it. But that is definitely a cost. Is that you're just going to get picked and teased apart, and then you still have. Go ahead.
No, and ostracized.
Yeah. And so even if it is, you're still, like she said, people can have their hair and play it up. You don't have 4C, you have 3C. Even just the whole lexicon of the classification, that's a cost because now none of that's making sense anymore.
You gonna pull me out of the closet and tell me I ain't got no 3. I ain't even in the 3s no more.
Yeah.
You gonna pull me out the 3s and put me in the 4s with you.
She said, imagine going to the beauty parlor at 11 and the stylist was ducking. Here you go, Sandra. I got to do it. Here we go.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
She said the stylist was ducking. They said, oh, Lord, here she come, brittle head. But again, that's the cost of going natural. The cost is very emotionally, is pretty much where we're going with this. It's emotionally taxing for people to do this thing here, guys. And this is why it's dumb. That was the dumbest shit. To say go natural instead of just saying go comb your hair, braid your hair. Hey, by the way, just because you braid your hair don't mean that you're going to get longer hair or you're going to protect your hair or you don't have to do your hair as much. No, it just means it costs a lot of money to do those braids, okay? You can't leave them in there forever. You have to take them down, and it's going to cost money. What's contributing to the cost is going to be that real estate. People say, "Oh, it's the education. It's my years of experience." No, it is not. If that rent is high, tell them, Cheryl.
Baby,
you see how much they are. Hey, do you know they are on social media walking? They are secretly recording the. You know how you do a walkthrough when you sell a house? Well, apparently they do a walkthrough with the lofts. These people are secretly recording their walkthroughs and they are blasting it on social media that they are charging, $350, $550. Some places were $750 a week to rent a loft. And they are in business. Somebody is paying that much per week. Now, again, like Cheryl said, that's their business. If you want to have your loft business, and we're not knocking that, but you do understand the cost to rent that suite, that loft, that chair, that salon. I don't care. It is going to be the biggest determining factor of why your braid styles cost. And this is why we're seeing that it failed. No, because the cost continue to rise. Am I making it up?
Absolutely. Well said. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why we go try to check out our book. Shameless plug. You got to get Cheryl's book, Beauty Myth, and then I have my book, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon. Here it is right here. It's available at RDT Hair Salon, and it's also available in some local bookstores here in Cleveland as well. As at the RDT Hair Salon and on Amazon. What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon, and I take you guys through that. And so that cost is more than likely it is not going to go down. It is in your best interest to learn how to take care of your hair in between those salon visits. That's really, really, really important. All right. And here is our last video. Now, again, please share with us. What's up, Barbara to the Star? I see you, Milano. What's happening? How you doing? We got Milano rocking it out with us from Major League Barbershop over on Instagram.
What's
How you
up?
One of my favorite peoples in the industry. He does so much. Him and Waverly are just like, oh. Well, by the way, we got to shout out Waverly because he won $10,000 from Beyonce's Sacred Grant. It happened right here in Cleveland. So whoop, whoop, give it up for Waverly. All right. So here is our last point. And again, if you're watching this posted live, what has it cost you to go live? So to go natural. So before we do that, I can see our virtual co-host says now is a good time to do this before we do our last point. And Cheryl's going to show you guys what you need to do right now to help change the narrative about what? The cost of going natural. Here we go.
Pampa me on, pampa me on.
And as predicted, I put Genesis' picture up and we got more likes. Genesis, now you know what that means, right? That means you got to bring your fine ass in here at least. I'm sorry, Genesis. You should have never put that. Let me put it up again. We might get some. I knew that was going to happen. Hey, see, this is what we're talking about. The cost of going natural. Beauty, it moves, it motivates people, it inspires people. It definitely helps them click the thumbs up button. So if she's still in the chat, wait, hold on there. If I can find her, I'm going to put that up. So we have, I think she's out of the chat. Okay. Well, anywho, we use Genesis cuteness. Oh, there it is. There she is. Hey, Sandra. If y'all like Genesis, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. All right. So again, we got 2 good comments in, 2 points in about the cost of going natural. Here's another one back in 0809 when she was on a mission to get as many as I could out of the relaxer. It didn't last long. Too many people wanted what I did to last a lifetime. Made me want to quit. Wow. Yeah. It's like Starbucks. Everything, hey, you got to ride the wave. I'm not saying people aren't braiding hair anymore, right? We're just saying again, the reality that's going to save you. That's not a good reality, because the braids aren't going to save you. You're going to have to do your hair. Okay. So here's the last one here, and this one is this lady is talking about again. This trying to label the hair and the responsibility of what it takes to care for it. So now you got this mis and disinformation, this social media, this algorithms. We got to talk about how is that costing you going natural is what's happening with these algorithms and all of this is another one of the many videos that's feeding the frenzy. And Cheryl can talk about the algorithms better than anybody. So here's just a video to show you how algorithms work.
Y'all are in my comment section foaming at the mouth over me calling y'all texturous, but let me break it down for you. If your natural curl pattern, specifically type 4 hair, is childish to you, but you can put on a deep wavy wig, a curly wig, a wavy wig for your birthday, for vacation, and now you feel grown and sexy, I'm sorry, you're texturist. Like, what's not clicking, Steven? Oh, but it's not about the texture, it's about the length. It's probably texturism as well, because our hair shrinks up. What aren't y'all getting? But not everybody has hair like you. Texturism, because my hair should not be the litmus test for who can and cannot wear their hair without it being childish. But some people have pixie cuts, but then a short 4C cut is ugly. Texturism. Y'all are fighting to prove to me that y'all are texturists. I have not heard one argument yet that proves that y'all aren't texturists. Not one. Y'all are texturists. It's okay. A lot of us were taught to be texturist.
All right. So now we see the algorithms are feeding us these types of videos where you got the new buzzword is texturism. We had to talk about it on here because you have to put certain things in. So now everything is being, is it artificially fed or is it the majority votes rule? My favorite one, y'all know, is Alexis de Tocqueville. Tyranny of the majority, where people just go along with the go along. So what are we saying about the cost? The real cost of going natural is how this information is coming up on our social media, because now everybody's a part of it. Okay. So talk about the cost of going natural as it relates to the information that we receive on our phones and stuff, and how the algorithms is influencing the cost of going natural.
Let's say, because when people talk about other things, I think when it comes to social media, we're going to just bypass all of the noise and say the cost has been our mental health. And it has been because the bullying and texturism is a part of the Curl Academy that I did about 10 to 12 years ago. And it teaches how we have texture profiled each other, okay? And how those things tend to get us locked into cyberbullying. The cyberbullying is real in texturism, in hair care. The level of miseducation and misinformation, some but most miss. They don't know.
Right.
They have been, and all of this is quite taxing because it has a double whammy attached to it, because not only when you can't get the results you want, and that's taxing on your mental health, right? And your emotional health, then you can't afford it anymore. It means that it has an economic component to it.
Right, because and you can speak to the affordability, because parents are bringing their children, preteens and teenagers and even young adults like college age, to the hair salon, and they want these braid styles. they're light bills. I'm just saying. And I mean that's very real. And I think it does wear on the mental because the parent just, they want the best for their child, but oh, here it is right here. I'm sorry. She says, I think educating the parent and the clients that want to manage their children hair on their own is a missed opportunity and income. But what are we saying to the children, Cheryl, who might be watching this? There's some, because we got teenagers that we get the little the report in YouTube. We do have a small amount of young adults that watch this channel who would say to you, Cheryl, but I can't do that ponytail like you. And LaDosha got grandma hair. I need my braids. I need my extensions. I want to look like, 2025. I don't want to look like 1999. I don't want to look like 2015. What are we saying to those young adults who I don't think they quite understand like that the cost that their parents are paying, especially if you have more than one daughter or even a son who wants those styles too, because we have a lot of young men who come in for twists and their parents are like, it costs what? But
well, we're saying the same thing as what our parents said to us. When we wanted the poetic justice with Janet Jackson style, the goddess braids or this braids or the that braids. That was expensive for that time as well, right? They've always been expensive in every era. You know what I mean? They were always pricey. But what we do is that, there is a buffer generation, or a buffer trend in before something takes a boom. And that's why, as an industry, we have to lighten that load. Problem with, once again, like hair care has already done these things. We already have that infrastructure in. We're in the salons. We have many people who do many different things, right? And so these things have happened before. Y2K, in terms of the cost, it's only 25 years. It's so new. Now this is their first wrinkle in time because it's one full generation. And now it has caused such a disdain and so many, negatives and so many cultural stumbling blocks and so many impediments before it now goes on to whatever it's going to morph itself into the next generation, because it will be 26 years in 2026. And so we have to just kind of, everybody wants the style of their time. I mean, we're not dealing with something that doesn't happen all the time.
Right. And I see that because the natural hair movement has officially, quote unquote, failed, parents are coming to the resolve that I got to do something. And even if they turn, like the young lady who turned to the chemical, there's still a cost associated with it. And so what we're saying to you guys is, whether you pay us, you pay the beauty supply store or your hair salon to buy the products that you need to care for your hair, there is an investment in time and products and tools and techniques that's going to be needed to manage that hair. You just cannot escape it. Right, Cheryl?
Well, to answer also answer Kay's question, the typing system, like, once again, was not about hair. It was about product choice, right? But it triggered something that we already was doing. We already was talking about good and bad hair. So we were already texture profiling. We always,
but I mean, I know y'all gonna say, "Dosha, you tripping?" And if go ahead, Y'all can say it if y'all want to, but this is why we have these podcasts, what they call it the discourse. The bulk of the shaming and the teasing and picking on hair within and even the dozens, all of that, a lot of that was centered around the people who just did not comb their hair. If your part was crooked, if you know you need to pick your afro daddy, and that's not to make an excuse, but a lot of that, and this is why we're encouraging you guys not to please other people, but to just know that that's just, is that a natural, I don't want to say consequence or a byproduct of, you know, the hair just not being grown, that you're just going to get that tease or, you know.
I don't understand your question.
I'm saying that, you know, when it comes to like she said, that the hair typing system make it worse in regards to textured hair.
Right.
I think that some of the remember now, originally that was to help people in his salon to be able to buy the product to match what he was selling. That was the original thing. But then they went to try to use it to type the hair, right? And explain away people who wasn't really taken care or had not had their hair taken care of, and was also victims of being, you know, teased. And that to me was just a culmination of, you know, you, if your parents didn't comb your hair right, or your parents didn't know how to comb your hair, you got picked on. And so now you had this, I'm going to type it and maybe that's going to save you. It's not going to save you.
And also, we finally had an excuse to texture profile. We've always texture profile. We always said good hair, baby hair, and you got, you know, smooth, fine hair, and well, my hair is fine and thin, yours is thick, you know, mine is, you know,
Short,
right. We've always been wanting to texture profile because it is just something about us that have to put a definition on things that we don't understand. Mm-hmm. And that was perfect. So now it's shortened. It would put a letter with a C, with a letter with a number. Now now we don't know what those letters mean, and especially in conjunction with the letter. So we don't know what numbers mean with the letter. We don't. That was a numeral system that was for product choice only. Mm-hmm. But it did make it worse, just to say.
Yeah. I think it definitely made it worse because
it made,
like we said,
unscientific. It made hair unscientific.
Right. Again, because culturally now, when Charlotte and I were brought up, you just wasn't allowed to not have your hair combed. And in our era, our parents really did bring that back, or was, you know, carried on, you know, from Mama Africa, that we arranged, we did something, we organized that hair. Yeah. And we do have a history that says it has to be organized. And so when we grew up, that was just not an option. No. And if you didn't do it, that was the consequence. Ain't no 4C. Yeah, ain't no 4C ain't gonna save you. If somebody said your hair was nappy, you came home and you cried and said, they called my hair nappy, and your mother would say, that's why I told you to do what? Comb your hair. Or in my household, it was very drastic, right? If you did not pick it, if you didn't comb it, my mom was like, we're going to shave it off. And
that wasn't an option. And let me just say this. I had so many supervisors that made sure that my hair did not get out of control. I had a lot of it, and they did not. No, they was on it.
Yeah.
I wasn't on it, but there was an adult that was in charge, and the in charge adult job was to give me the utmost importance, the scheduling, the prioritizing, the setting aside a time, and to make sure that this has to be well planned out. I think I got a little bit of the choice, but the point here is all of the cultural keys. And in the words of the Prime Minister of Burkina Faso, see, when you have an asset and you're taught how to be an asset, and you feel like an asset, and you talk to like an asset, and you listen like an asset, that means that you are of importance.
Mm-hmm.
And so anything about you, around you, for you, of you, that's not willy-nilly. You plan that out. And if you, just like you plan your clothes,
Yeah,
just like you plan your homework, you need to get, what are you doing?
Yeah. When you give birth to those, you decide you're going to bring life into the world. You need to start having a plan. I was talking to my granddaughter's mother, and she was asking about what's going to happen with the hair. And I said, okay, well, we don't know. We got to see what happens as she grows up. She says, oh, well, thank God, her mom's a hairstylist. Oh, no, Shaniqua, that won't be happening. You're going to have to take care of the baby's hair. I remember when my sister, she was doing my hair. And then one day she says, now, if you think I'm going to take care of your hair till you're grown, that's not going to happen. So we have to do these things, because the real cost of going natural, as you can see, is not only is it going to just cost you in money and things of that nature, it's bigger than that. You're missing the whole entire purpose and the reason of the comb and the hair. And again, we're talking about, it's about organization of what's on that hair, no matter how you have it, locks, twists, braids, straight, color, ponytail, it doesn't matter. And that is our history. And it's a little bit more than what we're saying, but we're just going to have to, it is what it is. We cannot and we will not make apologies for it. And you got to stay out, watch out for them algorithms. Cheryl just told you, people put it in there, so it's spewing out, but that don't mean it's so.
And it's 25 years of it spewing out. And so your cookies, okay, your search history and your browser history, all of that and data, you know what I mean? And all of that is about the sums and feeds the machine. Okay. And so whatever AI has and whatever Google has and all these search engines have, it is about us putting it in. But the point is too, all of the I feel I call it toxic education. It's all because your algorithm will reinforce your searches. Your algorithm will reinforce and condone and co-sign on your philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
You're only as good as your prompt. You're only as good as your search engine, subject matter, subject title. And so we have to make sure that we are at least. Well, that's why we're here.
Yeah. You want to drive down the other cost, you're definitely going to have to take into consideration, number one, that you got to organize it.
That's right.
Number two, you got to plan for it. You got to understand.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Cost, all of that. That ain't going nowhere. If anything, it's just going to keep. It's going to keep going up. Yeah. It's going to keep going up. All right. I think we have done a phenomenal job with this topic.
I didn't see your note. I'm sorry.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Sorry. So Sandra said, yes, Cheryl, the hair typing changed as time went on. It sure did. As I got older in the late 60s, the Afro was the godsend for me. I had the baddest Afro around, and then the smart comments disappeared. That's right. You gotta rock it out. Here we go. Earth. I wasn't raised by my mom. So when I grew up with my brothers and raised by my father would tell me to do my hair or I would be bald like him. I didn't know what to do. And again, that's what we talked about. Some people don't have that that support system. But that is where the community, be it your friends, your play aunties, the people in the church, or even just good old fashioned trial and error, it will begin to, because some of this is innate, where you just, you feel something that's
Absolutely
mad, it's innate for you to say, I got to somehow start to get it out. And you will conclude, oh, this is what's going to happen if I don't manage it. And some people have had to live that trial and error. And we cannot downplay that, because we said that at the beginning. That is I worked in that. I worked in it, where we had people were in foster care with white parents and black parents. Like I said, even my own mama, I lived it. Didn't even know what to do with it. But she did realize at some point, if you don't manage it and keep it organized, you're going to have an issue. So unfortunately, even if you have to do trial and error, you will conclude that there is no such thing that you're going to be able to protect it and somehow not have to do it. Okay. Because that has been a cost. So don't waste your money, because you're gonna be broke, but y'all already, because y'all ain't spending no more money on it anyway. So anywho, we're going to be back here on Thursday, and we're going to kick off our donating, and in some instances money earning, or money saving, or however we want to call it, with bread. Auntie Dr. Joy, the need to succeed. I know some of y'all, we cannot stop making bread, eating bread. What kind of bread? So this is a word play here on need, KNAD. Y'all following me here? The need to succeed, making bread in the hair industry. So we're going to talk about a little bit of both. Because I know some of you, I'm guilty. I love bread. I like bread and butter. I like bread and what's that? Marinara sauce. I like bread and gravy. I like biscuits. But I'm sure Auntie Dr. Joy is going to be like, you need to stop eating that shit, okay? Because that's the dumbest shit that people said about eating bread. So we're going to talk about
ideas to make some bread.
So Auntie Dr. Joy is going to be here to kick off our month. We got 2 months that we're going to be pushing donations for our industry. And we're going to start off. We gave Aaron and we gave Natasha. Don't forget, Natasha Heights, Gaspard Heights, okay? Maven Lane, okay? So we're going to make sure that we support these young ladies, because like we said, the work that they are doing in the natural hairstyle and braid coalition, that is not free. Okay, we have to support them so they can do the things that they need to do. I know I don't believe in it. Yeah, I know. Give them some money anyway. I don't care if it's $5. Nobody can do everything right, guys. Let's do something to help these young ladies out, because they're doing the best they can with what they have. Okay, so let's do that right there. And so we'll be back, and then after that, the following week, I'm going to be in San Diego. We're going to be
with me, y'all.
For the street name, and y'all know I got me a little outfit. I went to TJ Maxx. Went to get the match for the minimum. Okay, I got me a little outfit I'm gonna wear for my love. The official Willie Morrow Way streets naming ceremony is taking place Thursday, October 9th. That's 2025. 633 Tooley Street. That's gonna be at 11:30 is when you check in. 12 o'clock is the kickoff. Now, this is going to be PST. So it's going to be later on our time, and I'll make a little graphic for it. But anywho, sure, if I can get that graphic with the times change, ask Shane, can he do that for me so I can just use this one?
This is the shit.
Well, this one has EST. It's got PST. If I can get one with the PST time on. Well, I know how to cheat. I put it on there. Okay.
Okay,
all right.
no problem. All right.
So anyhow, it's going down, y'all, in 2 weeks. Get ready. And if you guys know anybody, if some of y'all live near Shore, y'all better get in that car and drive on up and come on, because I'm gonna be doing a line dance. Whoa, oh, I got my boots on the ground. I'll be doing all kinds of stuff. I'll be acting a fool out there, So let's get ready, okay? Is it possible? Here we go. Is it possible to create a post for all the donations? Yeah, we could definitely do that. Just know that when you do your QR, you know, the money will go, your donations will go to that specific, you know, organization. But right now it's just going to be us.
They want to get on in it.
Yes, we're going to go ahead on. Yes, I will make that. Thank you so very much. I saw you, Michelle Allen, come through the chat. Don't think I did not see you. I saw you come through, and thank you, Sandra, for shouting out our people. Of course, where'd she go? Where my girl at? Tristan Natural. You always, Tristan, we come through. You and Genesis, y'all just be rocking it out. LB, we love you guys. Live, work, clean, our Canadian babe. It's always wonderful to see you in the chat, Weekay. We appreciate you so much. Ronchina, I see you, Kay. Our homegirl Kay came through. Yep. And Sandra, Sandra and Weekay rocks it out. Mr. Kafele Earth, can you come back and rock it out with us on Thursday as Auntie Dr. Joy talk about this good bread, bad bread of what we need to do? All right. That is how. And I saw you, Christina Allen, she came through. That's my customer. When you come through on RDT, you're going to get 25% off your service when you come back. So thank you so much for checking us out here on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. And everybody on Instagram, we appreciate you guys very, very much. I see you, PYT. I miss you, baby. All right. And again, just for the record, guys, this is America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. We're talking about the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. And this particular podcast, we're talking about the dumbest shit that people say about Black hair. And this one was all about the cost, the real cost, that is, of going natural. 174 episodes. Cheryl, you want to close us out with something, or we did a good job? What you want to say?
No, I think we did a good job. I think we know the assignment. I think we know we're here. I think we know where we are. And I think we know what we must do, and we're not going to rehash it and keep rehashing it, but we will go beyond. Let's just get it on, y'all.
Let's get it on. All right. Okay, guys.
Afro combs coming, so we're going to have to get to the combing. So we're going to
order another round. It's about to go down. All right. Thank you, guys. Don't forget, share the content. If you're watching this post live, share with us. What has it cost you to go natural? We want to know so we can keep this conversation going, because Trish dropped the bomb solution in the chat. We got to help you guys out, and that's why 2026, that's going to be our focus. But in the meantime, you know what we say when we're signing out, right? A whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love. Oh, is that love? Is that a good heart? And a whole lot of hair. But check it out. We get it. If you ain't got it, don't want it. Hell, you can't stand it. I don't care what y'all say. I ain't gonna be messing around with them. I'm cutting it off. You know, we say it doesn't matter to us, because all of that, when you have bald patches, it don't matter. All of that is beautiful too, and so are you. We'll see you guys Thursday with that need to make some bread. All right, guys, have a good night. Sure, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
It was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.